My first memory of riding a tricycle in the Philippines was with my yaya. I don't remember where we were going, but I remember it being super exciting and feeling really fast.
I think my first memory of it was sharing a tricycle with a guy I was in business with at the time, and he was on those 1980 cell phones.
Yeah.
He was like talking like, oh yeah, benta natin, like all business in a tricycle. So it stuck with me because of the juxtaposition. I'm Paolo Asuncion. I am an art director and graphic designer and a filmmaker. And I live in San Francisco, and I've been in the States since 1994 this time around. But I first moved here in 84 or 85, I think.
And I'm Michael Arcega. I'm an artist, visual artist, and an associate professor at San Francisco State. I've been in the United States since 1984. The idea of having a tricycle really came from the lack of representation in the Soma Pilipinas landscape. In most districts, there's a signifier of who lives there. Soma Pilipinas has landmarks, but is lacking those markers. And we're collectively working towards that now. And the tricycle is just one of the efforts that are happening within the community. Jeepney would be cool. Paolo was suggesting a kalesa, but we don't have any pets.
But I'm allergic to horses.
Yeah. We were trying to get a kalesa be drawn by cats, but I'm allergic to cats.
I don't remember the names that we had been throwing around and how we got to TNT.
Yeah.
But when we did get to that term,
it was right. Yeah.
We're like, that's the one. That's it. That's what we name it. This was also happening during like the height of the Trump administration.
Yes.
And there was a lot of like anti-immigrant rhetoric.
Yeah. In thinking about the political landscape that the TNT was being conceived, I have been interested in kind of decolonial politics and highlighting the power dynamics between things like the United States versus the Philippines, and situations like having a tricycle in San Francisco really subverts that invisibility. We talk about the model minority being an invisible, keep your head down kind of mentality, and this is opposite that.
There's a lot of details on the tricycle that were painted by our friend Meng Nguyen. And everything you see on the tricycle is hand-painted. There's Filipino jokes on it that nobody gets. Like on the spoiler, we painted alert, and we have to always spell it out to people, like that it's a spoiler alert.
On the spoiler, again, it says aerodynamic. And for those of you that don't know, aero is a corrugated steel that many homes in the Philippines are capped with. Also, the tricycle is very slow, so you don't need a spoiler, and it's not really aerodynamic, but aerodynamic is like this kind of.
I mean, it's all aero and it's dynamic, so it's actually accurate.
That's true.
So it has, and then it has different Filipino terms on it. It says ayos on one side, or astig on the other, and then ingat on the ground. And then on the back it says, UFO, unidentified Filipino object.
Yeah.
But under the seat it says positively Filipinos allowed, which is kind of a take back of the term that was painted on the stairs of a hotel in Stockton in 1930, the same year as the Watsonville riots, and it said positively no Filipinos allowed, like positively no Filipinos. There's no exceptions, no Filipinos allowed.
Right.
Same year that they hurt a lot of Filipino farmers and store owners.
All of those things are kind of incorporated in TNT Traysikel.
Everybody loves it. Everybody just, when they see the tricycle, they don't even ask us permission sometimes. They just jump into it and take pictures,
Yeah. When we rode across the Golden Gate Bridge, with the NorCal Pinoy riders. They're tough guys in motorcycles, and their Harleys and whatnot. And then we put them on the tricycle just around the parking lot, and they were so giddy, super, super happy to be on a tricycle in the United States. And then it went viral in the Philippines. The fact that there's this really humble symbol of Philippine ingenuity or labor or work going across this monument of the United States, which is the Golden Gate Bridge, strikes a chord. This is this reversal that we're so used to seeing, American battleships or jeeps or Spam or things that are American in the Philippines is so commonplace, but to have it the other way around is so striking. It's a very, very humble thing.
And I didn't know it was gonna turn out this way. Having the tricycle and showing up to these events and meeting this community, there's something about this community that truly, and it's gonna sound kind of lame, but like activates my heart, right?
Instead of assimilating into, the broader American culture, is we have a chance right now to transform American culture. There are enough Filipino Americans to influence that culture and to change it so that we fit into it.
Correct.
Instead of being like invisible.
Remold it.
Yeah.
I mean, that whole fitting into the American culture, that's the model minority, that's the keep your head down, that's try to be as white as possible, don't attract any attention, you know what I mean? But not just in the Filipino American community, just the Asian American community. That's what's happening now. Like, we're really standing our ground and we're really like, that's enough. We belong here.
We're doing a 4-month residency here at St. Joseph's Art Society to help us put together our project called TNT Side Karaoke. We're gonna hold events where we will get folks from the community and highlight their knowledge and achievements, and hear their stories and record it, archive it, and hopefully broadcast it as wide as possible. Not hopefully, we will. We just got a grant from the San Francisco Arts Commission to work on this film. So it dovetails perfectly with our residency here.
I mean, our residency here is also to kind of just occupy the space, right?
Yeah.
Because this used to be the home to America's largest Filipino congregation.
Yeah.
And then the Loma Prieta earthquake, stopped all that because they closed the church down. And then over the next 30 years, because of gentrification, the Filipino community in this area diminished. And now that this is open, we're kind of just inviting the community back into the space. And also kind of educating the new owners and the new population of the space about this community and about the area that this church is in.
So this will be our kind of home base. My hopes for this project is for it to kind of enlarge in the footprint, at least visual footprint of Filipino Americans in the culture. I want it to be kind of normalized for folks who aren't in communities that have such a kind of cluster of Filipinos to be able to know that, yes, like there are models available for you, right? Like there's professors, there's musicians, there's poets, there's writers, there's like other models of what it's like or what a Filipino can do.
My kind of hope for the project is to be able to tell all these stories that we're discovering, because I never really thought about it myself before. I thought everybody came to the States and like kind of the same way that we did, or maybe there's 5, 6, 7 different stories, but really they're all unique. Everybody's story is so different and so valid. Not one isn't better or worse than the other. Some people came here as undocumented kids, and they didn't know it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some
lot of
people
people did.
gave up lucrative careers
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
to become to take lesser positions, I
Yeah.
should say,
Yeah.
here in the States, but for equally noble purposes, like to feed their families in the
Correct.
Philippines. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So yeah, if I had one hope is for these stories to enter, you know, the American lexicon. Is that the right word?
Sure.
For them, like you said, to be normalized. All right, pick a song. Pick a song.
Oh my gosh, I have never seen something like this.
Do you like to sing?